'82, I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, got it!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, yeah!
He did the guitar face.
Here we go.
Arnold Investment Consultant brings you this Garage Logic episode. Call Josh at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Okay, Joe is off today. Liz Collin filling in. Thrilled to be with you guys.
You
Gonna
don't
be
look
the
like
keeper
Joe
of
at
common
all.
sense. I was going to do my hair like Joe, but I wasn't even sure where to start.
No, please don't. Nobody can do
Wasn't
it like
even-
Joe.
There'd be a lot of trimming in the middle, so you look at that nice bald spot. Yeah, it would have taken a lot of work, probably.
Actually, I was thinking, okay, this is great. This is going to be radio, and honestly appreciate very much you guys reaching out to fill in. And then I'm like, you guys got this damn YouTube show now, so I'm going to have to put makeup on after all. So.
Yeah. You know, you look a lot better than Joe does every day, so.
Well, the bar is high.
Yeah.
If you want to blame YouTube, I would take that up with management, because that was not our decision.
Well, this is how it works now, so I get it. Joe usually has like 3 or 4 shirts on, from what I've gathered as well. So
Yes,
he gets
layers.
colder. He
dresses in layers.
he does wear a lot of layers.
He's not a big fan of when the air conditioning is on in here, which is problematic in the summer.
Right.
And I say, Joe, it's 950 degrees outside. The air conditioning is going to be on in here. So anyway.
But he also can pull off collars that I wasn't actually ever sure that they could even go together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think his last one he had a Viking thing on. He did kind of pull it up preppy.
Yeah, preppy
Pretty
Joe.
in Pink or
Yes.
St. Elmo's Fire, whatever it is. References he would not gather if he were here today.
So no, it's great to be here. There's obviously a lot to talk about, and always appreciate you guys too highlighting our work over at Alpha News. And I think that's where we're going to start today with this search warrant that was executed at several locations across the metro. I do know we have quite a bit of news coming up. I like to be a little bit prepared. You guys always make this seem so easy. But we do have Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher, who's going to be joining us. I think in the next segment, he's going to be talking a little bit more about Capitol security, which, of course, is top of mind after the horrendous political assassinations that took place now more than a month ago here. And going to talk a little bit about visit I had with Tucker Carlson. Again, no shortage of Minnesota news material in that conversation. And some other work we've been doing over at Alpha News. We kind of believe in reporting that gets results. Thankfully, we've gotten some of those results that we're going to talk about here in a bit. But back to this.
How long have you been with Alpha?
37 years. It just feels like it. Actually, just a little bit over 3 years.
3 years already? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and do want to remind people it's alphanews.org. You can sign up for our free newsletter. There, we like to bombard you with email. Not really. You get one a day with our top stories, and then we beg for money a bit as a nonprofit as well. So you'll get those. But yeah, we've grown quite a bit. There were 1.5 of us when I started, and we have about 5 employees now.
How do you feel? Do you feel freed versus what your prior career was, and right now where you basically you're unfiltered. You don't have to worry about assignment editors, producers, etc.
Yes, feel very free. It's a much different feeling. And people always do ask that questions. Is the news controlled? Do they tell you what to say? And I kind of saw things change in my later years where I was working there at WCCO, and that's why I really felt like there is an appetite, especially in this state, especially in this town, with just so much material that we just weren't getting to on the nightly news. And also, to have the platforms now, well, you guys do it too, just to have longer form conversations rather than things boil down into, 90 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
good.
It's been a good change for sure. But yeah, we got a heads up about this, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way about all this fraud in Minnesota. It's just absolutely astounding. But this focused on this Minnesota housing program. And this investigation's been going on quite a while, but finally they were able to execute these search warrants yesterday. And we were on the scene there in St. Paul at one of the businesses that was a focus of this, but again, several locations. So this is the Medicaid and Minnesota's Housing Stabilization Services, known as HSS. And there is suspected fraud, I think upwards of $100 million of fraud, billing for these services intended to provide stable housing for Minnesotans. But how disturbing is this? So these are people that go out to the Salvation Army, let's say, sober homes across the metro. Homeless encampments are mentioned in the affidavit as well. But they're saying, hey, we'll help you find stable housing once you complete your treatment. And then they bill Medicaid for things like housing consultations, housing transition services, housing sustainability services, and all these moving expenses. The thing is, they're not helping them at all. It's absolutely crazy.
And it involves the most vulnerable among us.
Yes.
The people that need them the most.
Yeah.
Let me try that. That's better. How come when they begin, fraud's been going on for, how come when they begin something like this, isn't there now a watchdog or some type of filter with the government saying, that's great that you want to help these people, but every month, every 6 months, we're going to check in to make sure when we send that $100,000 check to you that you're gaining or you're giving services to the homeless.
Yeah, when you look at even these applications, I agree there's just so many questions. The applications they've highlighted in this affidavit, they're almost like carbon copies of one another. They say they're using AI or they're just cutting and pasting, but they're taking these people's, not only their names, their social security numbers, their phone numbers, they're entering them into the Medicaid system, submitting all these things for reimbursement. They're not helping them at all. And I know there was a push at the legislature to create a position to kind of crack down on this independent officer of Inspector General. And nothing came of that this session. So they were talking again about this yesterday. But I was going to just highlight the numbers because it is just crazy. So in 2020, this is when the program starts, this HSS program. It was estimated to cost $2.5 million. So in 2021, the program paid out more than $21 million in claims. Last year, so 2024, the costs exceeded more than $100 million. And it's on track to basically go there again
so in
this
5
year.
years, it went from $2 million to over 100?
Over $100 million.
And they thought at first that $2.5 million, this is the
This is
seed
what we
money,
need.
this is what's going to be.
And you even think about it too. 2020, you kind of get it. People are in a crisis. We have the pandemic. Housing is more of an issue, and it just continues to climb. And then all of these LLCs start popping up, and they're submitting all these what look to be fraudulent forms to Medicaid. But yet, exactly the question, Rookie: how the heck is nobody looking at this?
I don't know. And it seems so. When did this start?
Well, it looks like
2020.
2020 is the program, but it looks like they're really zeroing in on these payments the last couple of years. So I think they've been.
But did they start at $2.5 million or whatever the number was, saying, let's see what we can get away with?
Then when it jumps is when somebody should.
It's almost like when someone steals your identity, right? They don't chalk up a $150 charge. They run a $2 charge at whatever, a convenience store, and then they start to increase it after that, right? Wow. Isn't it the same philosophy?
Pretty good thief.
Well,
he's put a lot of thought into this.
Only because it's happened to me. It's happened to me. That's why.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'm curious if that's why.
Well, and it's actually very similar. If you look at the Feeding Our Future fraud, this is exactly how it starts. It's a couple sites that all of a sudden it explodes, and they're noticing this reimbursement rate goes way up. And again, in the complaint, they do name a few people. And I was actually out on scene yesterday with acting U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson. He walks out of the building, and I did ask him a few questions.
This investigation, what are you looking for?
We're investigating fraud and obviously to stop fraud.
It looks pretty extensive, Mr. Thompson, with 8 different locations. Are you guys all at the scenes right now of these doing this same work?
Yep, agents are around at all the search sites.
How concerned should Minnesota taxpayers be, just seeing these numbers? They're pretty eye-popping in the actual search warrant itself.
Obviously, fraud's a huge problem in Minnesota, and hopefully today will help put a stop to some of it.
Do you know if any arrests have been made in connection with
Not today. Thank you all.
But in the complaint itself, you have Mustafa Ali, one of the owners of Brilliant Minds LLC. That's where we were, that Midway Griggs building there on University.
Fairview, yeah.
Yeah, and then Anwar Adwa is the owner of another, and Ahmed Muhammad, the owner of Pristine Health LLC. But these are all clearly Somali names that
all
are
local
mentioned.
Guys.
Yeah, in the affidavit itself.
Well, and what do we expect from the government? I know Mr. Johnson yesterday was kind of poo-pooing everything and just going by the book with all of their responses. And I'm not going to switch gears, but I liken it to what I've seen with the autism stuff where...
Oh, same thing.
The DHS, whoever the gal was on the news, was saying, yep, we can't talk about that, or we don't have... I'm just so sick of people hiding behind. Mm-hmm. If there is fraud, we should know. If I steal from the government... IRS and the Department of Revenue is going to just climb up my hind end with the microscope and say, you need to tell us everything.
Liz, can I throw you a question from a loyal town council member, Brian, because he's listening to us live? Question for Liz. Whether it's Feeding Our Future fraud, the HSS fraud, how possible is it that some of the alleged perpetrators have already fled the country? And are there measures taken place to prevent this?
I think it's a great question, Brian. We saw that with Feeding Our Future with some other fraud as well. Recently
dude bought
in the
an
news.
island.
Yeah, I mean, they've caught people at the airport. That's happened actually a couple different times, and that's why my question was: let's round them all up, arrest them, and that takes time sometimes, or sometimes they will charge them by summons, or that's just the way the system works. But I agree with Brian. Are they even here anymore?
Right. Or the guy that said, "Give me 30 days. I promise I'll come right back. I'll come right back to do this." No.
And that's also a question too. Where is the money going? And also you have to look to Minnesota's leaders at this point, because this fraud is so pervasive. This isn't just. This is all the last 5-6 years. I think you can really point to. Sure, there's been things happening before, but never on this scale. Mm-hmm. I mean, ever in Minnesota history. But where is Governor Walz on this, or Attorney General Keith Ellison? These are the people that really are in charge of the pocketbook, for Minnesota at this
because
point.
Didn't Walz just announce yesterday on his own social media account that they were going to? I'm going to find it here because he was bragging about a new program that they're now going to start in the state of Minnesota, and you've got to tell yourself or ask yourself, well, how is this not going to just be a recipe for the next fraud?
Well, I thought he had a press conference a while back about he was really cracking down on fraud. His own fraud.
I got it right here.
Sure what happened.
I got the new Inspector General.
I got it right here. This is on July 15th, so 2 days ago. This is from his official account. Growing up in a small town, I saw how small businesses make main streets come alive. That's why I've just announced $33 million for 225 small businesses to ensure that they have the funding that they need to get started. Well, sure, that all sounds great in theory, but
isn't that the problem in the first place?
This is the freaking problem that this state is facing right now.
Wow. No, I didn't see that. I think he was actually interviewed yesterday and asked by a few things. I don't think fraud came up. He doesn't grant too many interviews. Well,
really?
You guys know that
yeah,
one.
we know that for sure. Oh yeah.
But really, it's sickening, and it's sad. It's sad to see.
And it almost feels like there's only one section of the public or the media that's even focusing on this, right?
Yeah, I think yesterday it wasn't on the front page of the Star. Maybe it is now, but I noticed yesterday it wasn't.
It
for
is
most
this
of the
morning.
Day. Okay.
Yes, their leads.
Okay,
the
good.
top of the
Good.
fold.
It took them 24 hours, but they got no.
I have a question for you. Two things I keep hearing over and over. One from the governor is we have kids that are going hungry. And then the other one is from our fake mayor, Joe, who says, where are all these hungry kids? He doesn't believe that there's hungry kids. What say you regarding that? Are there hungry kids?
Yeah, I mean, even just surrounding this building yesterday, we were there for a couple hours watching this unfold, as agents are there just carting out boxes of evidence connected to this. But you see even people all around the building. I mean, you guys noticed this, right? That you just never saw all this stuff out in the open before. people look like zombies, just and that was all around the building. And I have no doubt that people are in need of help, but they're being victimized in a whole other way through this. I walked into this building too, and they actually have this in the affidavit itself. There are 22 HHS contractors in this building on University Avenue.
Oh my.
22 alone. And you walk through the building and it's basically every few feet there's a new door that goes into an LLC offering different types of services. So you have to wonder, these are just 2 suites that were searched yesterday, but what else is going on? I mean, that's what
and they're
I
right
thought.
in the thick on University in Fairview. That's where I mean, they're all light rail. It's all dense inner city, and there's people living everywhere. And I suppose once the word gets out, but I'm shocked that we're not. I know it was 2020, but I'm just shocked that there's not stuff in place.
Years later,
to even 2023 when it went from 2.5 million to 10 or 15.
Yeah, nobody's
or
going, hey, these numbers don't.
It's beyond me. I don't know what to say, and I don't know why. Like Joe said, some of these guys figure it out pretty early. That, especially with kids are, if people like Feed My Starving Children, I know they're international, but also some of the local places that have been privatized and do feed people. And yep, kids are getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the school year and not during the school year. And I do not object to that. I think there are kids that their parents are not giving them the proper nourishment. That's fine. But that's also got to be legitimate. It can't be you're in Pequot Lakes and you're feeding 50,000 hungry kids. There's not 50,000 kids.
And I think a lot of these programs were in place before. I've had some conversations recently with a couple commercial real estate agents, and they say that the vast majority of their clients are Somali, and they're looking for just businesses to rent. And then they'll actually ask about numbers, how many people, and it's basically they'll kind of just admit to this being a front. And I don't mean to come off as, this sounds racist, or these are actual conversations I've had with people, but and just hearing about just the community itself, if one person's doing it, and you even heard this in the trial of Feeding Our Future, they would say this is, the American dream. They were kind of just like, this is what they know,
opening
or this
a business,
is
making money,
and we get tips like that literally every day. Well, there's a adult daycare. There's never been anybody who walked in the door. There's this type of service. I've never seen anyone there, and that's what I was really struck by walking through this building yesterday. I'm like, there's nobody here. There's nobody here. What's going on?
And that's the problem. Oh, go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
They were looking for storefronts.
Storefronts from commercial real estate agents.
Gotcha. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so frustrating is that you're someone that comes out or pointing or shining a light on this. A, you're racist, and B, you hate kids because you want them to starve to death. No, I'm against $1 billion of fraud of taxpayer money going out the window.
Which we should all be against, yes.
And people taking advantage of it. That's the problem that we have. anyway.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to have a conversation with Sheriff Fletcher coming up next. He has a lot to say. As always, he's very excited to talk to Rookie, not so much me.
And he hates being on the air.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Hopefully he'll talk.
We'll be live on patrol with Sheriff Fletcher coming up next.
The GL Summer Salute to Cylinders Tour. It rolled into Cedar Lake Speedway last weekend for a very British car show with the dirt track races following that night. We had many GLers stepping up and praising the big three from Seafoam, the Motor Treatment, the Bugs Be Gone, and the Deep Creep. Talking to a fella, he was saying he had a time trying to figure out where to find Bugs Be Gone. He wasn't having good luck. Good luck. We decided the bigger box stores are a good source for the Bugs Be Gone, but here's the pro tip. Here's the life hack. Go to seafoamworks.com, seafoamworks.com. On the banner on the top of the page, go over to the right side where it says Seafoam Work Products. You can scroll down, click on Bugs Be Gone, and you can order this stuff and have it delivered right to your home. I would suggest ordering a few spray bottles because you're going to need it. You're going to love it. This stuff is a game changer. It makes getting bugs off the windshield in the front of your vehicle so easy. It's safe on all surfaces, will not harm plastic, steel, glass, fiberglass, etc. A couple of people said the Deep Creep played a big part in the restoration of their British cars. And, of course, the Motor Treatment is world-renowned among all cylinder owners. The big three from Seafoam: the Emergency Roadside Kit from Garage Logic, Bugs Be Gone, the Engine Treatment, and Deep Creep. Wonderful products in a world gone awry. Here you go, Liz.
Why, thank you, Kenny. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be talking Capitol security, some notification concerns, all of this coming to light after these horrific political assassinations in Minnesota that took place about a month ago now. And Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher is joining us at this point. I've heard you've never been on the show, Sheriff.
Actually, I remember when we had the show in garages scattered throughout the metro area, and every host would have to tell Joe how many pistons he had inside the garage.
That's cylinders, Sheriff.
Get it right, man. Get it right.
Come on.
Sheriff, I want to be on record being the only one not arguing with you. So.
Actually, I'm not saying anything either, Sheriff. I want to stay on his good side, for sure. And Sheriff, also, speaking of your garage, you were telling me a fascinating story about you owning like the first computer basically ever. I shouldn't tell people. This might be a security breach of your garage.
You know, when I was on the city council, I purchased a Texas Instruments computer, dual floppy, 5-inch dual floppies, 8 megahertz, and IBM and Texas Instruments and Compaq were all in a battle, but IBM eventually won that war. But I still have my computer plus my DOS 1 manuals.
Do you still have the original box? Because if you have the original box, that baby going on Marketplace or eBay is going to be
That's what I said.
through
This
the
is
roof.
yeah. I was like, this is why are you still working? This is your retirement plan right here, Sheriff, in your garage.
I'm saving it for the 50-year anniversary.
Signed by H. Ross Perot, I bet, huh?
Well, nice. I thought, a story about your garage is always a good way to start. Actually, this is a very heavy subject, obviously, and I know you've been leading the charge here for the last few weeks, and we certainly appreciate that. You care about all of our safety in this state, no doubt. But just talking a little bit, Sheriff, I know we've spoken a few times on this subject. Where are we now, just in the context of Capitol security? Are people willing to actually talk about this? I've been in the Capitol many times before, but you don't even realize how there's just not a lot of infrastructure in place that is all around the rest of the country.
Well, I've made some recommendations over the last 6 or 7 months. I think everyone agrees that it's time. The time has come. There's just too much political violence out there. But I cannot get the lieutenant governor to actually call a meeting of the advisory committee. And that's the troubling part, is we can't even get a meeting to discuss it. So she's in charge. Technically, that committee is supposed to meet 4 times a year, and it's only met like once each year the last 2 years. Actually, I don't know if you saw Professor David Schultz, who's a Democrat himself, said not meeting is a dereliction of duty. So I'm hoping the lieutenant governor, who's obviously she's running for Senate, but she has to help take care of business at home as well.
And that brings up a good point. You actually flagged all of this back in January. We did some reporting over at Alpha News about that. But you wrote this letter. This was after kind of a lunatic protester was at a committee hearing with a bullhorn, getting directly in the face of lawmakers at the time. But you write this letter detailing these security concerns. And it took at that time a couple of months for the lieutenant governor to even respond to that letter, basically with nothing, from what I gathered, Sheriff.
Well, essentially the letter, 3-paragraph letter, but it didn't commit to anything, just a common sense approach that, yes,
right,
we need something. But I was really hoping, I sent her another letter after the most recent, horrific incident, but I haven't heard back from her. So I really think it's in her hands to call the meeting and get something started, because by next January, there needs to be security in place at that Capitol. And the one thing I want to say to those people that talk about access, security and safety actually enhance access at the Capitol, because people are far more comfortable being in public spaces when they know that people have been screened.
Locks are for honest people, right, Sheriff?
Well, unfortunately, that's the way the world is. We have to face the fact that we need to, protect the public from the 2 to 3%.
Fletch, who is supposed to be watching those quarterly meetings? Who is supposed to police that? Is that the Secretary of State, or are these meetings just at the pleasure of the lieutenant governor?
Well, it is her right to call them at times and locations she sees fit, but the statute is very clear. The committee is supposed to meet 4 times a year. So I suppose it would take some type of legitimate legal challenge to force her to do that.
I'm not sure what else the lieutenant governor's got going on, other than when Governor Walz made his run, she was ordering wallpaper for the governor's office and the residents, maybe when it's finally done. But I know there's been a little tension between those two, the governor and the lieutenant governor. But she really hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, you don't really see them together. That's
right.
Anymore. Just on the subject of the notification, these delays in notification after the assassination of the former speaker and her husband. Walk us through the timeline, Sheriff, because this was just really troubling, and I'm also curious as to where that conversation stands at this point, nearly a month later.
Sure. Yeah, the timeline is very troubling. Of course, Sarah Hoffman and his wife and daughter were attacked roughly 2:00 that night on the 14th. And then at 2:37, some smart New Hope person sent a deputy over to check on Senator Ann Rest, and she encountered a strange party, and a car turned out to be the suspect. But she apparently wasn't aware that a police car, make-believe police car, was being used. And then, of course, prior to that, he had scoped out some other legislators as well. But at 3:30, which is the troubling part for me, and personally, I don't like when we're unable to protect people. And when Melissa and her husband Mark and Gilbert were attacked, but I know now that at 2:37, the State Patrol captain in charge of Capitol Security was notified about the event at Hoffman's. And what happened after 2:37 isn't clear yet. There needs to be an after-action report in terms of who was notified and why the legislators themselves weren't notified. But law enforcement didn't get direct notification either. We got a teletype sent to our comm centers at 4:30. So there's a gap in time as to who was calling who and doing what, if anything, between 2:37 and 4:30. But, of course, teletypes aren't a very effective form of communication. The teletype was invented in 1964 when Joe Souchere was just an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So that took a while to get notified for the officers. But strangely enough, the Senate members didn't get an email till 6:42 that there had been some type of threat. And that email did not, as you've reported, Liz, didn't even report the facts.
No.
And how serious it was, didn't tell people to stay locked in their homes and do not answer. Based on that email, most people would have answered if Belter had been at his door. So I didn't get a call till 6:45, and we didn't have a list immediately. We had to start making calls to, actually I talked to the superintendent, Drew Evans, and he gave me a list of names in our area. So there needs to be an after-action report, and the Commissioner of Public Safety, Bob Jacobson, did commit to doing that. So hopefully we'll get to the bottom. But my question in the letter that I sent, which you read, was who's responsible for notifying the legislators?
Right.
And I'm afraid that we're more than a month, 6 weeks after, we still don't have an answer to that question. We probably have a better idea of who's responsible for law enforcement, although that's not clear. But the legislators deserve a timely notice that tells them precisely what to do to protect themselves.
And you seem to have support on both sides of the aisle here, Sheriff, to get this notification system figured out. I mean, it's truly shocking. Even that teletype, I think, that is a little bit difficult and isn't exactly clear. But yeah, you're right. That thing, 4 hours later, this message, it's basically like I think it kind of says some threats were made. That's how it describes it. And to call your sergeant at arms, right? I mean, it was just not clear at all hours later. And all of those screenshots are on alphanews.org attached to a recent story.
The sergeant at arms did not notify us a list until 7:57 in the morning. That's when we got an email from them about which legislators lived in our district and what their addresses were. There will be time to make judgments in the past, but what it appears to me is that when the State Patrol got the message at 2:37 that Hoffman had been shot, they did not take that as a serious threat. When I say that, they didn't conclude that other legislators were at risk. And so I think that's just the way the timeline looks, that they didn't figure that out until after Melissa was killed. And so then, of course, things were, started moving, but still not fast enough.
Yeah, really, absolutely horrific, and obviously could have been even worse for how long this guy was out there. And I know you were in on the search from the beginning. But again, Ramsey County Sheriff Bob Fletcher, we appreciate the time and thank you for all you do. Stay safe and sell that computer, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Fletch, before you go, it's Rook. I got a couple of quick questions for you.
Oh, I thought we were out of time. See, I have no idea what I'm doing, Sheriff.
This is just quick.
Okay.
This is just quick.
It's a podcast.
He's going to ask if he can wipe away a couple of those parking tickets.
Yeah, please.
I thought it was the DWIs.
That's downtown St. Paul. Yeah, Fletch did all my DWIs, so that's okay. There are detectors at the courthouse, so why not at the Capitol? Is that one of your arguments?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We were the first in the state to put them in after 9/11. We're talking 20 plus years ago. They work well. They're quick. We have them at the state fair now, all sport venues. Now, metal detectors have improved. People can walk through very, very quickly. Disney World has them at their entrances. So it's not an inconvenience. It won't stack people up. And yes, we have them pretty much everywhere in society except for our Minnesota State Capitol.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like just a no-brainer. Yeah,
it really does.
Well, it is the top priority. Yeah, sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
No, just okay. That's fine. And the second question: what do you know about St. Paul's Safe Summer Nights? Are you involved with that at all?
It's not our project. It's St. Paul. They do a great job. We do go and participate as one of the members, but we're not directly involved. Why do you ask? Are you going to go get some hot dogs?
No. I was talking to
He's
Tom.
worried about more DUIs.
Yes. I was talking to Tom Campion and Pat Mancini and some of those guys at the St. Paul PD, and we were going to do a little promotion on Garage Logic somewhere down the road here. I just wanted to know if you were involved. If not, that's fine. I know you hate kids.
We come. We do have a new project, the Capital Area Security Project around the Capitol that we just started last week. Kind of fun. Maybe, Liz, we can talk about it at some time. But we are doing extra security on the Rice Street corridor up there and in north of the Capitol, and we're going to clean up the light rail station at Rice and University.
Perfect. Well, there you go. We were just talking about that as a matter of fact. Never a dull moment. Well, thank you again, Sheriff, for being here, and hope to talk to you soon. Stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me, Rook. Always a pleasure. Glad you're still around, buddy. I was worried about you.
Thanks,
Aren't
Fletch.
we all?
Hey, go to Carboni's or go get some donuts, will you?
Thanks, Fletch. Wow, that's eye-opening that they can't even get a meeting at the damn Capitol.
Yeah, wow. I thought that maybe something had changed since last week.
Well,
but
this just goes
really
to show
troubling.
you Joe's explanation about the third rail. I can't be bothered to do my job. I'm trying to run for Senate.
Right.
Is it that, or is it a personal beef with Fletch?
You think it would be?
But if you're a politician right now, even if you're a Democrat,
it shouldn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I would have a level of concern.
Yeah, I've heard from the sheriff, and he has said that he has support from both sides. I mean, they want to be safe in the Capitol just like the rest of us.
Of all the things that shouldn't be a partisan issue, you would think death might be high amongst those things.
Well, and I think it's also quite telling, too, if the lieutenant governor and our governor are not talking, that seems to be a problem.
Wow.
For us.
Little family squabble there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's been months. Okay, next up, guys, I think we're going to talk a little bit. John is going to love this segment about my conversation with Tucker Carlson.
Oh, he's going to love that. How about I talk to you guys about our friends at Hofferman Water and Connecticut? Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years, as you guys already know. But here's the thing with Hofferman Water and Connecticut. They're appearing all over the place right now. I just saw a big truck down at the Rice County Fairgrounds. I dropped my boys off on Tuesday. They had 3 different Hofferman water trucks. It was really cool.
Did you just run to the spigot like an old and just
Well,
turn
you haven't
that
seen
thing?
him since, I bet.
No, actually, my kid said, Dad, why are you taking my picture by this van? I said, because I'm going to put this on social media, buddy. You know how this operation works. But that's just what's cool about Hofferman Water and Connecticut. And the thing is right now, it's a great time to have them come out to give you that free water analysis. And you can do that one of 2 ways. You can call them directly at 612-895-2440, or you can also visit their website, which is, of course, HoffermanWater.com. Either way, you can get on that schedule, and they're going to come out for that free water analysis. And then what they're going to do is they're going to give you this thing that's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they're going to give you recommendations and how they can improve the quality of your water. But you got to get on that schedule first. So again, 612-895-2440 or HoffermanWater.com. And like I mentioned, Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast. Damn TV people filling it all the time.
Well, you guys, my eyelashes are getting in the way. Okay, yes. So I was recently on Tucker Carlson, which was actually a really cool experience. They had reached out a couple different times to talk about the book and the documentary and whatnot and what the heck is going on in Minnesota. And things kind of fell apart in the end. But finally, they called after these horrific political assassinations, and then I was there just a couple days later. But what's so crazy about Tucker Carlson, so he does his show in Maine in the summer, in literally the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
So you fly into Portland, and then you're
blindfolded.
Honestly, this is what it felt like. And so then you're picked up and driven like almost 2 hours out of Portland. I really, honestly, to this day, have really no idea where I was. And this was about a few weeks ago now, obviously. And his show is in the back of this like machine shop warehouse, I would describe it. This barn. I'm like, what is going on?
Don't go in the basement.
What is going on?
We have no relation to you. Listen, we're already nervous.
Right. Does this smell like chloroform?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
I was like, in my mind, this is not exactly how I imagined this.
Yeah.
And I obviously knew a little bit about his show before this. But what's interesting is, so then he brings, he has like a local couple there, and they cooked us breakfast because there's a kitchen inside this machine shop, like all sheds should have. And we have this delicious breakfast, but he always wants to have a meal with his guests before he talks to them. I think
just
to
to kind
decide
of get a vibe and just break the
so you're
ice.
not just on.
It's just go, lights on, go.
Right. And he's a very interesting guy. He's really curious about everything. He asks a lot of questions about Minnesota, about me, and kind of the whole backstory. Really kind. And generous, and then you just sit at this table next to the kitchen table where you just had breakfast, and this is where you do the podcast. But even my makeup, they had a makeup gal there, and I was doing it right next to like a belt sander. It was very odd.
It sounds perfect to me. I'll be honest. This sounds ideal.
Middle of nowhere, that's Kenny country.
It's a ray of hope that they weren't going to work the belt sander on your chin to get rid of like whiskers or anything.
Were there any crop dusters in the area?
They were all at your place again, Kenny.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that experience of being a guest on Tucker's show was a little different than coming in here, where I basically walk you down the maze of the hallway, and then
there's ice here, so it's different.
That's true. That's true. What was in all honesty, what was the response from both obviously people that follow you, but maybe people that follow Tucker's show, and how was that type of a reaction?
Well, what's interesting is, so you put together kind of like a packet, just here's some things, kind of his background that you'd think the producers would pass on to Tucker. He has a whole team. He actually took most of his team, I think, from Fox when he left. And they're still working with him to this day, but they're kind of all over the country. And there's just a few people on scene there on set in Maine. And then I think he does his show in Florida. But what was interesting is I don't think he read anything that I sent. Or he's just a really good actor because he seems so surprised about everything that has happened in Minnesota. Sure. But he actually needed to take a break for a second. He's like, I just need 30 seconds because I'm kind of in disbelief about all these things that you're...
Really?
Because the conversation is more than an hour. I think it was about an hour and a half. But he's like, I just need about 30 seconds. You're not really sure where the conversation's even going to go either. But we covered, obviously, the assassination, walls, the fall of Minneapolis, everything. But that was kind of eye-opening for me to experience. So I think I said that a couple times during the interview. I know I sound crazy, but there's this.
Well, that's what's so shocking to us, because we're in it. We're in the thick of it every single day.
Yeah, you don't think about it.
We don't. But then
much.
On the outside world, is this really happening in your state? And you have to say, this is what we've become, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's sad how we have become known for many of these high-profile things just the last few years. But yeah, it was just it was a very fun experience just to see all of that. And the reason, the story behind his shed is that his wife was paying too much for boat storage, so they bought this building. He lives on an island close by.
Okay.
And then he just takes this old pickup
ferry
truck
out there, or pontoon?
Well, he lives on an island, and then somehow he just drives himself to the studio to do these shows. And then he said that his wife was paying too much. She's in charge of the bills, he said. And so then they just bought this old building behind this public library in Maine, and this is now where they do the show, and then they store the boats there in the winter. Anyway.
Okay, it works out for some.
Cameras? 2 cameras? 1 camera?
There were several cameras, all different angles, not very good angles of me, and nobody was looking at my hair either. I was just expecting a little bit more as far as, this is Tucker Carlson.
Yes. This is major.
Yeah, this is, I got my hair sticking up for like half the interview. I mean, I was kind of doing a Joe Souchere and nobody told me.
You're not that gray, believe us.
So you want to throw it to Johnny Hyde?
Oh, God, you told me already. Okay.
That's okay.
John,
So you rate your Tucker experience.
I've already forgotten.
1 to 10, Tucker experience.
Oh, it was a 10. Nice guy, yeah.
Okay.
10,
Okay.
10. I mean, this is a 10. This is an 11 today, you guys. Especially
Now
because
we
I
know
can't
you're
even
full of
remember
it. Yeah,
because I
that's
can't
all
even
right.
remember to toss to news. Dear God.
I can already see the headline tomorrow.
Yeah.
Liz Collin likes Joe Souchere and Garage Logic more than Tucker Carlson.
But he must be billing all right if he can afford to fly you out there and then put you up and drive you all the way out there.
Yeah, I did. I was thinking about that. He's got, and he actually his walls are lined with all of these things he sponsors. All this.
Sure.
These dips and chews. I don't know much about the tobacco world, but that's a big thing for him. He's got the. Yeah. So.
Skull, brother. I think I'll play me
All
some
right.
touch.
John, I'm sure you can save us from this segment at this point, right?
We'll see. In the
No
news,
promises.
thanks, Liz. In the news, Republican Scott Jensen says he's running again for governor of Minnesota.
Scott.
The physician.
Sit down, Scott.
The physician and former state senator.
We can talk during the news segment?
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, yeah,
you
you
interrupt
should.
all you like. The physician and former state senator challenged DFL Governor Tim Walz as the Republican nominee in 2022. He lost by a 7.6% margin. Jensen said in a release announcing the new campaign, Minnesotans want their state back. We remember the days when our communities were safe, our schools were strong, and our leaders put people, not politics, first. That's the Minnesota we're going to fight to bring back. Jensen's announcement comes 2 months after fellow Republican Kendall Qualls, an Army veteran and former healthcare executive, announced his gubernatorial campaign. Walz, for his part, has not yet said whether he'll seek a third term in 2026.
Your thoughts, will he?
I've kind of been going back and forth. I don't.
Here's the thing.
He got a little taste of national blood.
But he can't lose governor and then run for president because that's going to look bad.
But
But I
here's the
think he
thing.
could very well lose here.
He has never been more beatable, talking about Tim Walz, than he is currently right now.
Yeah.
Scott, you just lost. Step aside, let somebody else try to run here and actually defeat Walz.
He didn't say, is Matt Burke coming back? He didn't say, right? He
didn't
doesn't have a
say.
running mate.
He did not say.
No, I
at
don't think
this
that was
point.
in the release. Yeah.
I would tell
saw
Matt,
that this
sit down
morning.
too, bud. I love you, but let's not do this.
Yeah, they have Kendall, right? And then Philip Parrish, who's announced. Some other folks also. Jeff Johnson, who's a city council member in St. Cloud.
Oh, different Jeff Johnson?
We shall have to see. Chris Maddle, I know, is considering. He's my attorney, so I can't bring this.
Got it. Well, that leaves who's going to run for Senate
need an
for
attorney.
Tina's seat, Republican-wise?
I thought Michelle Tafoya was considering it,
Yeah,
but I
okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Julia Coleman said she's not going to. I saw that.
I mean,
last
the
week.
Republican Party needs to get a credible candidate to run for governor like Royce White. Now let's get Royce
Oh,
in
my
there.
God.
Let's-
How do you replace
let's
Tina, though?
change
What do you,
the
I
shape.
mean, everything she's done. How do you?
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
really.
big shoes to fill.
Yes.
If Scott and Matt run again, we'll have to have them on at the state
Oh,
fair so
dear
that Joe
God.
can lecture them immediately.
Do you know this story?
No, I don't know this story, but it
Well,
sounds like I'd like to hear it.
You know, Rook and Matt, you guys went to
That's it.
high school together? What's the connection?
Oh, you did?
My Mike Daimler, his uncle, was one of my very good friends. So
Okay.
He ran around Nativity grade school with fire orange hair and was teased quite a bit. But we
So they're
always
buddies.
we always took care of them.
They've been buddies for a long time, and so
Okay.
Rook was nice enough, however many years ago that was, to invite Matt and Scott on the show, and they both sat down, and Joe said, "All right, you two, if you want to win this thing, quit with the bleeping. What was it?
It was
Nazi.
Nazi references
and the barefoot and stay in the kitchen
Yeah,
stuff.
Matt's
and stay in the
barefoot.
kitchen.
And I'm running the board going, okay, this is a way to start an interview. And it
It needed to be said.
100%.
Nobody was saying it.
Yep,
You know.
Joe 100% nailed it, but it was like, okay, welcome to the fair.
Yeah.
They looked a little shocked, to say the least.
Oh, God bless Joe.
Well, it was
Yeah,
a tough
that's,
icebreaker. That was a tough
Yeah,
icebreaker.
just get it out of the way
Yeah.
and then just
Right.
move forward. I guess that's.
Speaking of Tina Smith, U.S. Senator Smith was spending Wednesday night at a hospital in Washington after she fell ill at work. According to a social media post from her office, Smith was working at the Capitol yesterday when she, quote, started to not feel well. She was seen by the Capitol physician who recommended she go to George Washington University for further examination. According to a statement from her office, out of an abundance of caution, they're keeping her overnight for observation as she expects to be back at work very soon.
Over-exhaustion.
The 67-year-old Democrat was the only senator who did not vote on the Rescissions Act, which was passed on a 51-48 mostly party line vote early this morning. We'll hear more about that in a few minutes when we get to our national segment. An amazing story. If you're as old as me and paid $60,000 and some change for your first house back in the 1980s.
Whoa.
Last month, home prices in the Twin Cities hit a new high. Median price for all home sales in the Twin Cities broke $400,000.
Wow.
According to new sales data from a trio of realtor groups in the metro area. While sellers and homeowners like that number, buyers, not so much. House back in the 1980s.
Whoa.
Last month, home prices in the Twin Cities hit a new high. Median price for all home sales in the Twin Cities broke $400,000.
Wow.
According to new sales data from a trio.
Hello.
What just happened?
I'm in a time machine. I'm going back to 2012.
Is somebody trying to interfere with our connection?
I
Johnny,
was
you
just
can still hear
wondering.
us, can you?
It's the FBI.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but he was repeating.
Maybe
It's
the
Tucker
CIA.
Carlson.
It's Tucker
He
Carlson.
heard Liz rip.
I liked the shed, Tucker. No. Okay, I think we're good.
Weird.
I think we're fine. I think
So
somebody
on YouTube,
accidentally
it's-
dialed in.
yeah.
We're good. We're good.
Many younger buyers say the prices have basically pushed them out of the house buying market. And with interest rates around 7%, the cost of buying a home is an issue for a lot of first-time buyers.
My next door neighbor just sold his house.
400,000.
In fact, the new people just moved in yesterday, and they told I met him last night for the first time, and they basically said any house at that certain price point was literally gone before it was even listed, before it hit the MLS. Because there's that price point now where, and it's
Crazy.
It's basically because of interest rates. Like people can only afford so much right now. But it was insane. He was telling me what a nightmare it was, and thankfully, great, you ended up next door to me. You know,
but for so
Just
many,
got worse.
Yeah.
for so many kids that are in college or maybe not going to college, it's just so much nice. It's so much cheaper to live in the parents' basement
Yeah.
with Nintendo, the Wii.
I'd still live with my parents. if that
Texas
was socially
Instruments,
acceptable.
computers.
Yeah.
is that
depending on
happening
your
at
age.
a 123 lane Mikulski household?
We're empty nesters right now. All 4 kids are out.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah, it is.
One
So
sort
we
of
just sit and stare at each other and scroll on our phones and don't talk.
One sort of sports note, the Twins announcing today their jerseys will now feature Securian financial advertisement patches. Securian, headquartered in St. Paul, will have its logo on Twins players' sleeves as part of a multi-year partnership. Team spokesperson declined to reveal the length of the financials of the deal. MLB first approved ad patches back in 2022. The Twins, one of 4 Major League Baseball franchises that had not yet sold their sleeves to a sponsor. Now only the White Sox, Rockies, and Tampa Bay Rays remain ad-free. The Securian patches will make their debut when the Twins take the field Friday at Colorado.
And Matthew, your sleeves are available for purchase, are they not?
Oh, yeah.
My sleeves, underarms,
forehead.
back hair. If you can read through all the hair, it's okay. I can grow my own sweater.
Everything's for sale.
Or
Open
right
for
over my
business.
shoulder.
Yeah. Open
Most
for
of my
business.
T-shirts, I'd have to sew the sleeves back onto the shirt before I could.
That's very true. After you hastily ripped them off.
With a jackknife, with a knife, yeah.
I will say Securian Financial has the nicest CEO. Chris Hilger is an extremely nice guy and very community involved.
All right.
Your forehead will be sponsored shortly.
This is-
Yep.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's-
available for that Securian endorsement.
Rook would look like a NASCAR driver with a jacket on. That's what Rookie
I
would
have
look
no
like.
shame. I have no shame, no integrity. Let's go.
Steve Miller, who was scheduled to headline the Minnesota State Fair grandstand, has canceled his whole tour because of concerns over extreme weather. Ticket sales for the State Fair gig with the Rascals on August 28th have been halted.
How do we know what the weather's going to be?
Refunds will be given to current ticket holders. According to Miller, you make music with your instincts. You live life by your instincts. Always trust your instincts. The combination of extreme heat, unpredictable flooding, tornadoes, hurricanes, and massive forest fires make these risks for you, our audience, the band, and the crew unacceptable. So you can blame it on the weather, The tour is canceled.
This has got to be.
Is that a joke?
I think this has got to be no one was buying tickets, right, Johnny? Don't you think?
Steve Miller? He would sell out the
He would
fair.
sell out here easily.
Well, no, I know, and it's the fair. I know he'd do well here, but I'm saying for the tour.
What kind of weather app does
think
he
he'd do
have?
fine.
Right.
Oh, all right.
What are we missing?
He's a contrarian, always has been. So he maybe just didn't want to go out on tour. He's 81. So
He's 81?
Maybe he just said, you know what? The heck with this.
Abracadabra, I'm out of here.
State Fair representatives said a replacement act will be named for Miller's date, which fell on the second Thursday of this year's fair. Refunds will be given out automatically to anyone who bought tickets using a credit card.
I wonder how they're going to fill that date.
Well, we'll see.
Wow.
They're going to announce it.
Build the ark. We'll be there, you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Let it
Jeez.
rain.
Let's take a quick break here. We'll have some national, international stuff for you right after we hear from Chris Reavers.
Thank you, Johnny. I want to talk once again about my friends at Harmony Spirits down there in Harmony, Minnesota. I did mention I went down for the car show July 4th, and it was absolutely festive. And that's the really cool thing that's going on down there at Harmony Spirits. In addition to fantastic handcrafted spirits made right here in Harmony, Minnesota, they have a lot of cool things happening down there at the tasting room. So if you've got some time, want to jump on the bike and head down, even today, they've got their summer concert series going on right now in Harmony, Minnesota. The Lonely Knees are hitting the stage tonight at 6 o'clock in the alley right next to Harmony Spirits. They do a lot of really cool events down there. So if you happen to be in the area, I know there's a ton of campers that are down in that area of Harmony, Minnesota, but it's great handcrafted spirits. It doesn't matter if you're a rum fan, if you're a vodka fan, gin, and of course the bourbon and the barrel-aged whiskey.
Oh, Mamma Mia, spicy meatballs.
And the summer menu is on right now, and you can see it on their Facebook page. Of course, just search Harmony Spirits on Facebook. They do a great job of updating that. I know I mentioned the blackberry lemonade before, but it's all really, really good. I was down there, had myself a sipper, and then I got in the car and headed back. But it's a great spot. It really is cool, and it's a great time to be down there.
You came back empty-handed, didn't you?
Oh, no. Oh, I did. I did. I did.
He's just not sharing.
He's a POS.
Just didn't bring anything in here. But if you can't make it down there, do us a favor. Go into your local liquor store and ask for the Harmony brand by name. And that's really how they're going to continue to keep growing their product. And they thank each and every one of you GLers that have stopped in. So anyway, check out their website in addition to that, harmonyspirits.net. Stop in, say hi to Larry, Damon, and the entire crew and let them know that you heard about it on the Garage Logic podcast.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed, and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The month
Here's Johnny Haidt in the newsroom.
National and international news. And before I do that, let me remind you, as always, this news is brought to you by the fine folks at North American Banking Company. Update on a story we had yesterday, hours after President Trump told a room full of Republican lawmakers that he would fire Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. He has denied plans to do that. He said yesterday, we're not planning on doing it. I don't rule out anything, but I think it's highly unlikely unless he has to leave for fraud. At a meeting on Tuesday night in the Oval Office, the president had asked a group of House Republicans if they thought he should fire Powell. After getting support for the move, the president said he would follow through, according to a senior White House official. The president indicated he would likely do it soon, according to the official. One problem with all of this, a recent Supreme Court decision indicated the president does not have the authority to remove Fed officials at will.
One small detail.
So he likely cannot fire Powell, and Powell has said he will not resign the position. His term, by the way, if you're wondering, ends in May of 2026. Most of the U.S.'s trade partners who have not already gotten a letter from the administration will get a notice of payment informing them of the new tariff rate for imports to the U.S. President Trump telling reporters that yesterday. Of the more than 150 countries, he said, we're not really negotiating with them, and they're smaller. We don't do much business with them. A deal with India also could be coming as well. He said they're close to a deal that would bring it around 25%. Trump also said on Tuesday the U.S. will impose a 19% tariff on goods imported from Indonesia after sending a flurry of letters sent to U.S. trade partners last week, setting rates at 25 to 50% effective August 1st. Senate Republicans had the votes to pass that package of $9 billion in spending cuts, giving President Trump another big legislative victory. GOP leaders had to quell a revolt from members of the powerful Appropriations Committee with a couple of concessions on a package that originally was set at $9.4 billion. Russell Voigt, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, told reporters the rescissions package had enough votes after the Senate GOP leaders agreed to an amendment to remove cuts to the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, or PEPFAR, leaving money for the successful global initiative former President Bush launched in 2003 to combat AIDS. Vogt, the administration's chief budget watchdog, also worked out a side deal with Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota to redirect money in the Interior Department to help about 28 radio stations across 14 states that broadcast into tribal lands and were at risk of being hurt by $1.1 billion in cuts to the Corporation of Public Broadcasting. House Republicans, still not going away, directing the Justice Department to release classified documents pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. The push from the Republicans, which would require a House majority to succeed, comes after President Trump criticized Republicans who supported their release and defended Attorney General Pam Bondi's handling of the case. The president also posted in a long, rambling post on his social media account that MAGA members who want the files released don't need to be part of his movement and that they're, in his words, weaklings. The Justice Department last week released a two-page memo saying Epstein left no client list of those involved in his abuse of underage girls. The department said there was also no further evidence that could be released and no additional charges. That announcement has sparked frustration among Trump's base, many who have long awaited the list. Singer Connie Francis has died. Francis was a star of the 1950s and 60s, known for her hits Pretty Little Baby, Stupid Cupid, Who's Sorry Now, and Where the Boys Are. Connie Francis was 87 years old. No cause of death was released.
John, did she write those songs, or was she just merely singing other people's words?
She was merely singing other people's words, Kenny.
Yeah.
She didn't write stuff.
Yeah, kind of thought that. Thank you.
Who's the Connie I'm thinking of with the white hair in the
Connie,
70s?
The white
Stevens?
Hawkins?
Was that it? Connie Stevens?
Could be anyone.
Okay, I thought, but Connie Francis, she was a dark-haired gal.
She was when she was young, yeah. She had gray hair the last few years.
That's how that works.
Oh, is that how that works? Right. I'm thinking of Connie Stevens. Yes, okay.
Except for yours.
That's separate.
You know?
Yes.
It's amazing how to salad, isn't that there, Liz?
Yeah.
Is this a taboo subject, Liz? We shall not delve further.
Yep.
And
That's right.
Connie Stevens
Spend a lot
at
of money trying to
86
hide that.
is still with us.
Yeah. The largest piece of Mars on Earth sold for $5.3 million.
Not buying this. This is fraud. It's,
Yep.
it's highest
this?
level. This
What'd
is
I miss?
BS.
It's a big rock they found in Lake Superior and
for
blamed
sure.
it.
No. Largest piece of Mars on Earth sold for $5.3 million at Sotheby's yesterday, the most valuable meteorite ever auctioned. The segment was discovered in November 2023 by a meteorite hunter in Nigeria's Agadez region of the Sahara Desert. The rock
A
has
meteorite hunter? He's like,
Is that actually a job?
Yeah. A cape.
The rock has a distinct Martian reddish hue and is partially composed of glass, about 21% by volume, believed to have been forged from the heat and pressure applied to Mars' surface when an asteroid struck it, propelling the chunk 140 million miles through space to Earth. It has the scientific name NWA 16788, referencing its discovery in Northwest Africa, and was validated as a Martian rock in the leading journal for this is tough to say, meteoritic science earlier this year. Martian
subscribe to that.
I haven't got this month's issue yet.
Yeah, well, you can borrow my pen.
Do you think he has it on his dating profile? I'm a meteorite explorer. You know, you think that's what he tells all
like
the
instead
ladies?
of holding a fish.
Right.
Just,
Yes,
right.
exactly.
You got to hold
on this rock,
you gotta
ladies.
have it like it's really forward there.
Not like deer antlers, but yeah.
Martian meteorites are very
wait a
rare.
minute, John. Where does that fall?
Oh, yeah.
The rack, the deer rack,
Yeah.
or
Where
the
is
fish,
it?
or the meteor?
I think a meteor. I mean,
That's tough. Yeah.
Martian meteorites are very rare. We have about 77,000 officially recognized meteorites, and only 400 are recognized as being from Mars.
How do we know that?
They figure out what they're made out
The
of.
carbon 22 or whatever it is?
Well, no, that would,
Matt,
be an aging. That would be an aging thing. Not a,
It's like some kind of Western thing.
Like they work on Connie Stevens, right?
Anyway.
come on now.
Yikes.
I must have had some kind of boyhood crush on Connie Stevens
Clearly.
to remember that, huh?
Yeah.
Connie, and I don't want to be off base here or anything, but she had an album out where she was, there was just a picture of her topless for no apparent reason.
Maybe that's
Just
Wow,
standing,
that was
just
exactly
standing
why
there.
you
Maybe
remember
that's what I
her.
got my
Well,
hands on in the
yeah.
closet as a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, that-
right when I was
Never
done
mind.
with right when I was done with Herb Alpert, and what was that? The whipped cream lady.
Whipped cream one.
Yeah,
Oh, dear
that-
God.
that-
Angus is now, we're
her
off
and
the rails.
Debbie Boone.
Okay.
How wholesome
Boone.
she was.
What?
Whoops, are we on? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
my
we're
mic was
still
on.
on.
Well, we were.
Whoopsies.
I mean,
Yeah, we're
And,
no,
Sorry, Mom.
lost.
From the Oops
kicked off the
department,
I
the
think
LA
I just
County.
did
I literally thought you just said the boobs department.
Right. Wait.
Okay. Sorry, John.
That was me.
The LA County Sheriff's Department is investigating how an assault rifle went missing from and possibly fell out of the trunk of a squad car in South LA. Deputies first noted the Colt M4 assault rifle was missing from the trunk of their squad Saturday night. It had been kept in a black hard-shelled storage case in the vehicle's trunk, along with magazines, each loaded with 30 rounds of ammo. Sheriff's Department asked the public for help in finding the assault rifle, identified the route the deputies traveled on Saturday night in hopes of figuring out where the weapon is. The deputies had traveled about 4 miles heading north on Normandy Avenue near the department's South LA station before turning west on Imperial Highway, north on Hawthorne Boulevard, and then west to Inglewood Avenue. As of yesterday, police say they still haven't found the rifle and are still...
No, yeah, they'll never get that one back.
Yikes.
No, I wouldn't think so. What do you think, Chris?
are you done, Johnny?
Sure. I
think
mean, I
you're
got
done.
more,
You can
but
be.
there, you know.
That's okay. We can take a break because you know what I need to do? We're nuts right now.
Oh.
Liz, are you familiar
That
with We
is-
Are Nuts and
Well, I'm familiar
WeAreNuts.com?
with you guys, but right? No, not this.
You
Not
got
this
to get to
brand.
the store.
You-
Yeah.
You got to get Bobby a
Yeah.
pack of some
Right now.
wasabis,
Here's what you can do.
some bourbon ones.
Go to WeAreNutsMN.com. We're
Okay.
running a GL special right
All
now.
right.
You can get $10 off the sampler pack, which is addictive. I will say that.
I'm all in.
It includes the maple bourbon toffee almonds, the original toffee peanuts, the cinnamon toasted toffee peanuts, which are
Delicious.
fantastic. And also, I'm warming up to them. I didn't care from the beginning, but I really am starting to like the hot nuts, the toffee peanuts. They're really, really good. In fact, if you mix them with the cinnamon peanuts, they're even better. So
But you also got to remember that aside from just the almonds and the peanuts, they have the mix, that like the trail mix
yes,
or whatever.
and that's
Those-
also really good. But the
sounds
GL
great.
special is the 4 I just mentioned. It's $10 off, but you have to use the discount code GL Nuthouse at checkout. And that, I know,
Sorry.
kind of
That's good.
fitting,
That
isn't
is-
it?
that's good.
works.
Yeah.
GL
Yeah,
Nuthouse
wow.
at checkout, and that runs through the end of the month of July, where you can go to WeAreNutsMN.com and place your order. But if you also are in the area and you go to a Kowalski's, Lunds and Byerly's, or any one of the 22 Fratelloni's hardware and garden stores, you can see the end caps that are there as well. So you can stop in at any one of those locations and purchase it as well. And I also got a note from Mike that at the Max hardware store. Johnny, I think that's a North Dakota outfit.
Max is in North Dakota. Yeah.
They are also there, and I think there's also one in Sioux Falls and Watertown, South Dakota. So we have a lot of listeners out that way as well. But go to their website, wearenutsmn.com. They've been a great supporter of Garage Logic over the years, and we're so glad that they're back. But through the end of the month of July, you can order that GL Nut House 4-pack and get $10 off, and let them know that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast. Big day now. Ready? Back by popular demand.
Fanfare.
Wow.
We have the Garage Logic GLer of the Week.
What just happened?
Well, it's my fault. We have been absent with the GLer of the Week for a couple of weeks now. So I'd like to mention, we all know Clark Loney of New Richmond, Wisconsin. Let me guess, he's a third cousin of yours.
Neighbor.
No,
He's
shut
an old
up.
neighbor. We lived in
No, this
Max,
is
North
made
Dakota.
We've
They
been
hunted
getting,
meteors together.
Yes.
we've been getting ripped because everybody that's won the GLer of the Week, Liz,
So rigged.
has some type of connection to the show.
We hunted Mars meteorites in Max, North Dakota.
I saw it in the magazine.
So in order to become eligible for the GLer of the Week, make sure that you update your town council membership to an annual membership, and you're going to get that $50 gift certificate from Masters Maples and mastersmaples.com, the best pure maple syrup here in the great state of Minnesota. So congratulations to Clark Loney of New Richmond, Wisconsin on being this week's GLer of the Week. Liz?
Yes. Well, thank you, Chris. I thought our last segment, we could spend a little time talking about what Alpha News has done just as of late, and hope you can support our mission for impactful journalism over there at Alpha News. But recently, the Minnesota Department of Education and the state, they are pledging reforms now in their hiring practices following a series of stories that we did profiling a guy by the name of Wilson Tindy, our reporter Jenna Globe over there at Alpha News. He was a convicted sex offender, was about to be deported, and the state of Minnesota hired him anyway because they didn't go ahead and do a background check on him.
Who needs it?
Yeah, it was a pretty eye-opening story. We weren't aware that that wasn't happening at the state level. Also, this was just something we dug into last week. There is this new hiring justification policy in place at several different well, all the state agencies, but basically you have to fill out all of this paperwork if you're going to hire someone who's not from a protected class in Minnesota to work at a state agency.
Unreal.
Rookie, you're not going to get a job for the state of Minnesota.
I'm a little too white.
Yeah.
Red and white, Polish, red and white.
But the Department of Justice came in and they said, you know what, this isn't actually legal. So they're now investigating this policy and speaking to folks as well, hoping to get back to a merit-based form of hiring at the state. And this actually was a law, but I don't think anybody knew about it. It was just passed a couple of years ago to go through with this.
So if it goes through...
Well, it's already happening now.
Oh, okay, so then what does that mean? They just have to go on merit and not on...
Well, so right now, if you are going to hire someone who is not from a protected class, and that's a whole different category, yes, a whole different show, you have to fill out all of this paperwork and why you're hiring them. They basically incentivize you to not hire white people. Okay. I mean, that's what it's coming down to. And all of these lawyers have said this is just not legal, and this is happening at all state agencies in Minnesota. This hiring justification policy, it's bananas.
Unbelievable.
So I imagine it might be ending with this court case.
You mentioned Jenna, and I don't know if you're going to get to this, so I apologize, but the interaction she had.
Yes, that's the next story.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's speaking of even just another show. But so then this is all within a week over at Alpha News. We're like, and again, just a team of a few people, but we get a tip about this guy who has all of these racist Facebook posts on his Facebook, and he is an HR manager for the state of Minnesota, 6-figure HR manager for the state, talking about how all kinds of horrible stuff.
Right.
And Jenna goes ahead and emails him for the story saying, we have all of this from your Facebook account. And I'm trying to, where is the exact, F you, Jenna. Notice I did not use my work email. You effing rotten B word.
Hey now.
Yeah. So anyway, he's a really nice guy. On leave now from the state of Minnesota after all of this has come to light.
My favorite part of that interaction was A, he did use his state account, and B, he attempted several times to
recall
retrieve the email, which, buddy, it doesn't work that way.
Which you can do. And then also I'm like, this is like the guy who's in charge of human resources? What is happening?
Imagine going into his office with a complaint.
And then didn't he resend it on his personal account?
And then he sent it, and he basically said, my Facebook is protected. Like, that's not how that works.
That's somebody who wants to get fired.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. So anyway, that's just a week over at Alpha News. But yes, please download our free app. It's Alpha News MN on the App Store. Sign up for our email, alphanews.org. You can go ahead and get that free every day delivered to your inbox. And also, we're Alpha News MN on X, where we break a lot of our stories there. So follow us on all the social medias as well. And check out my podcast called Liz Collin Reports.
When do you normally release your show?
Crazy name. How did you get that?
Pretty creative, writer.
Good,
yeah.
How often do you release your podcast? Remind me.
Usually Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's when we kind of have just try to bring out different voices you won't hear on the nightly news. So that's what we're.
Thanks for filling in, Liz. We appreciate it.
It was really fun. Thank you guys for letting me into the Nut House.
Yeah. That's in the jail.
We are Nut House MN. No, wait. We are nutsmn.com.
It's actually my homepage now. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. Thank you, Liz. Please do us a favor if you haven't done so already and hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. GL has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show live each and every single day starting right around noon. 11 o'clock start time tomorrow. Not because my son is playing in a baseball game at 12:30. That has nothing to do with that whatsoever. But hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. And you can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage. But it's all there for you. And you can also follow us along on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.